Hello and welcome to the Vibrant Systems YouTube channel. My name is Danielle, and through my company Vibrant Systems, I help people deepen their connection to self, to others, and to the environment. And it's been a hot minute since I've recorded one of these videos talking about my journey in this space as a business owner, as a consultant. And that is because I have been very hard at work creating my first video course called Elements of Self. And I will talk a bit about what that is, but I wanted to talk a little bit first about how my journey has evolved since I've been on this journey. I was directed towards creating video courses by someone I do consider a mentor. Sandy Boucher. I'll tag her below because her YouTube channel has so much wonderful information that people can go and absorb and look at, and she's a wonderful speaker and teacher. And if she had not been the one to tell me, hey, you have the ability to learn and the voice to create content in this way, to create videos to talk about your journey, to create video courses in your business, I never would have done it. And I think part of the reason why I've been very hesitant to share an update here on YouTube is because she does occasionally actually watch my videos when she has time and when they appeal to her, and I do appreciate her input from them. But also, my focus as a business owner has really changed since I started creating these video courses. And this was a balance that I have struggled with for so long, which is the values and the appreciation and the love I have for community on one hand, which is where my consulting journey started, and then my spiritual journey and beliefs that I've been developing for years on the other hand. And I wasn't sure how to bring these two concepts into coexistence together. With my consulting journey, how I move forward now, I'm no longer seeking out clients in the community development space. And it's not that I don't want to ever work with municipalities ever again or businesses ever again, but it's rather that what I truly believe community needs is not something that is often offered by these clients, and in an unfortunate amount of cases, it's not something they have a desire to transition to, especially in the wider global climate that we're living in right now. For me, and I have been deepening my concept of community over the past couple of months, very much so. I've been connecting with new people and having these conversations. But for me, community needs to be a place where we can allow the diversity of our realities to exist. And we need to be able to learn and repair as needed. And that concept of community cannot be separated from the land or environments we are on or meeting in. And as someone who was in the community development space from a very Western perspective, there is not exactly a niche for me in that space. And that is often, or not often, that is why I chose to pull back from trying to market myself in that way. My understanding of community, especially in its relation to the land, has been so deeply influenced by the First Nations elders and teachers that I have been blessed to have encountered on my journey. I just want to acknowledge that straight up. I am not coming into this space thinking that I have all the answers either. And that's the joy of community, is we don't need all the answers. When we're creating together, we're allowing the strengths and wisdom that other people hold to come forward too. And that's very Again, it did not feel authentic to me to show up as a consultant, as an expert, when I'm wanting to pull in so much of the expertise of the people I want to work with. And as I've been through this transition with my business, with how I've marketed myself, with the content I'm creating, because if you enjoy my videos here, I really encourage you or ask you to maybe also follow me on Facebook or Instagram, because I post a lot more frequently there, a lot more short form content there. And the reason why I transitioned to that is because the more people I can share my message with as it comes to me, the more confident I become in how that message needs to be developed for things like my video courses. And with this evolution and growth phase that I've been going through in my business, and learning how to interweave my own spirituality with my very pragmatic views of communities and the vision that I want to build. Because for me, that spiritual journey is also incredibly practical. For me, my spirituality has been such an important part of staying grounded and of staying inspired to keep going with so many of the negative things we see, such as the genocide in Palestine, such as the famines in different parts of the world, such as the bigotry and division that we see towards the queer community, towards the Indigenous communities and peoples in Canada, towards, and this can go on and on and on, right? I would not be able to show up as an ally and as a member of this global community in a good way if not for my own spirituality. And so I had to address the narratives in my own mind that were telling me, oh, you cannot be a professional and incorporate your spirituality in this way unless you wanted to do something like only give tarot readings. Like, in so many ways, they were two parts of myself that were so separate for so long. And in this process of learning how to bring them together and allow this paradox to coexist, I've actually found a lot more practicality in my approach to my business. And I found a lot more grounding in the uncertainties that I'm navigating as a business owner. So I know there are still people in my life who maybe look at what I'm doing or look at the content I'm creating and just aren't sure maybe why I'm doing it the way I am. And I'm learning to be okay with that. I'm learning that my heart knows what the right path forward is for me as a business owner. And sometimes that looks like surprising or disappointing other people. And I know that I can integrate and celebrate my spirituality in a very open way. I'm not trying to force people to believe what I believe. But I can do that and integrate that and still be a professional, still be someone who's pragmatic and can help with budgets and can help with strategic planning if the right clients come to me. Again, I'm not going and looking for those clients anymore. And a big part of this transition for me has come from switching to these video courses. And the one that I've been working on, I mentioned it at the beginning, is called Elements of Self. And I really do want to spend some time talking about that, what that is, because, oh man, it's been something that has been close to my heart for well over a year now. And it is something that is so deeply embedded in my own life experience that creating it, pulling it into this video course content has flowed easily. It's flowed smoothly. It's been such a natural kind of expansion for myself once I stopped fighting the part of me that was like, oh no, we need to bring spirituality into the forefront, into this visible atmosphere. The Elements of Self course, if you don't follow me anywhere else, is very simply a video course that is designed to help people deepen their connection to their authentic balance. And it, again, is very rooted in my own experience of being disconnected, burnt out, apathetic, depressed, exhausted, and pulling myself out of that hole by sitting with and observing and integrating the lessons of the 4 elements. And these lessons are really scattered throughout human history. I do read tarot, and so it's something that the suits of the tarot deck, the swords, pentacles, cups, and wands, are associated with these elements. So the corresponding aspects of self-care are in the tarot deck already. But even the exposure that I've had through the Indigenous teachers and elders that I've worked with and learned from, the medicine wheel in Blackfoot culture and in Anishinaabe culture has the same correspondences. And it's actually from these cultures that I was able to really integrate the concept of balance, because on one hand, I know it's kind of unsaid that we need to balance our self-care in Western culture, Western ways of thought, but it's always, especially with influencers, it always seems to be, oh, you've got to do more fitness, or oh, you've got to focus on diet, or oh, you've got to journal. It's never integrated, it's never holistic, and that is very much a shakedown from our colonial systems that did seek to disconnect us from not just our own bodies and not just our own environments, but the way those things intersect. And my brain has never understood the silos that we've placed certain things in every single system and every single learning process I've gone through. My brain was always making those connections. When I was in anthropology, when I was in public health, they would bring in these concepts of, quantum entanglement or systems theory. And I was always kind of like, oh, isn't that just the way things are? I never understood why others weren't seeing it this way. So when I had Cree elders or Blackfoot elders or Anishinaabe elders speak to me and share their knowledge with me, I was like, yeah, that's right. That just makes sense. There's nothing to add here. And it was very much not just this idea of, oh, there are these 4 things you need to focus on. It was, how do you integrate them in balance for yourself? And I am very much simplifying it, and I'm not stealing this knowledge because, again, the lessons that I share in my video course are fully 100% based on the ways I've worked with the elements for myself. And that's very embedded, again, in my spirituality, in my witchcraft, in my ways of being as a person. So it's not the same. And if you are looking for medicine wheel teachings, please go to someone who actually has lived the life that is associated with those teachings, because I am not that authority. But the way the elements have helped me and helped me find balance for myself has a lot of similarities and resonances with the teaching of the medicine wheel. And even as I was creating this video course, because it was after leaving a long-term partner, it was after moving back in with my parents, it was after a full unbecoming of who I thought I was, that I was able to speak to the water, sit with the air, sit on the earth and play with the fire, that I was able to learn the lessons I needed to learn to reconnect with my own authentic self. And bringing these lessons now into the video course, it's in that spiral of growth, right? We come back to lessons in new ways. I have been able to learn even more lessons. And it's been such a rewarding process for me to bring these into play. And I incorporate, that's the word I'm looking for. I incorporate many different aspects of my understanding of the elements into my course, and I use different modalities of teaching. I have the video element. I also have beautiful guidebooks that are full of my own reflections and my experience working directly with these elements, how I was able to build this relationship with them, and what reflection questions I'm asking other people to encourage them to build these same relationships for themselves. I also incorporate meditations to really help people deepen that reflection capability, because so many of us are disconnected from what it feels like to sit with difficult lessons, right? And I say so many of us because I still have to remind myself to bring myself into a state of calm so I can really absorb some of the more difficult teachings that I have encountered in my life. And again, it's been such a rewarding process for me. I'm very excited to soon be launching this course and sharing it on a broader platform. It's encouraged me to grow in so many ways. And it's also really reminded me what it feels like to be fully in charge of my own voice, and understanding that there will be people who read what I've written or listen to what I'm saying, and they will feel parts of themselves react. And some of these reactions could be wonderful for them. It could be resonating. It could be oh, this is the missing piece I've needed. And other parts of these reactions might hurt a little bit, right? They might want to reject what I'm saying. And I have made peace with the fact that there is no way that I will ever please everyone. That's a part of me that I had to let go, the desire to please everyone. And it's also not my place to try and coddle those who are reacting in perhaps a negative way. It's not to say I should be, or I want to be, harsh or aggressive with these people, but I have to understand how to separate myself from their reactions, because that is their own journey that they're on. And it has been in this process of building up this new foundation that I have really connected to myself in a way I did not expect. With my business, I've always been very excited to be starting it. It's always been a fun thing to tell people. But it took me until this July. And I started my business officially on paper in March or February of 2024. Yeah. And so it's taken over a year of me trying different things, waffling back and forth, for me to find a pathway where I'm like, yes, this is the one. This is the path forward. This is the step I'm supposed to take. This is the battleground that I'm supposed to meet myself on, because my own doubts have always been the loudest. And man, I never would go back if I could. It's not. It was scary first taking this step, because There are so many people that I admire so much from my previous professional connections, and I didn't want to alienate them by taking this more spiritual approach to my business. I didn't want to do that because my background is, again, very much in community, very much in environmental action and climate adaptation and food sovereignty, and I still fully believe all those things. But for me, all of those things were already inherently spiritual, and now I'm just saying the quiet part out loud. So if you've watched this video this long, I do appreciate your presence. I appreciate your time and your energy and your attention, because I know you have so many other things you can be doing right now. I do really want to say, though, that in this broader vision that I've been playing with and working with and bringing to fruition, it takes time. It takes time. I would love if it happened like that, but it takes time. In this work that I've been doing, in this growth that I've been undertaking, working with just myself and finding my own authenticity, giving people this video course as a way to reconnect with their own authenticity and their authentic energy is just the first step. My goal, and I say it right there in the beginning, is to help people deepen their connection to self, to others, and to the environment. So as we deepen our connection to self, we can show up in communities and in alignment in a way where we can truly contribute to others and understand that the balance exists on that level too. And even just by using the elements as a metaphor for our self-care and holistic balance, I am opening doors to help people remember that they are of the environment too. And to me, that's such an important part of the puzzle, because you cannot just stop at the one thing. Otherwise, it's no different than expecting all your problems to be solved in a therapist's office or at the gym. Yes, those are tools that help us navigate the difficulties of building relationships and repairing through difficulty and healing collective wounds. But they alone do not solve the problems. We solve a lot of problems in relationship, and we solve a lot of problems when we remember to find that balance and appreciation and connection to the land we are on too. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this journey that I've been on. I know I still have so much I'm a lifelong learner. I'm embracing that. I'm going to be a student forever. In the sense that life is always going to teach me something. So I would love to hear your thoughts and perspectives. Is there something you're worried I'm missing? Is there something you would like to add about your own journey that would help? And if you would like to join me in this community I'm building, in this work I'm doing, you can head over to vibrantsystems.ca/lets-connect/ and sign up for my newsletter. It is a newsletter. It shares my regular content with people, my articles, my videos like this one. It gives a heads up as to where I'm planning to move in the future in my work, but it also is an invitation to an online community forum of like-minded individuals where we can have conversations about navigating the tough parts about building community, the challenges we encounter, and how to build up stamina and sustainability in the changes we're making. Because we need these changes now more than ever, and we need each other to create this long-term support and transformation. So I really hope that you do take the time to sign up for that newsletter. Let's make your story a vibrant one.